Welcome to the Audaci-Tea, the podcast by women, for women, and anyone else brave enough to listen. Welcome one, welcome all. It's so good to have y'all. Please be sure that if you haven't yet, that you check out our Patreon, our Instagram, our YouTube, our TikTok, all of our other socials. We're making our way onto every platform slowly. So wherever you get your entertainment or podcasts or videos, please come and find us there. It would really help us out a lot. Please tell your friends. Please tell other women that you know, anyone that could benefit from listening to this podcast. We definitely want to spread the good word. And if you don't know me, I'm Lisa, and I'm joined by my amazing co-hosts, Sovereign Woman and Gwen. Welcome, ladies.
Hi.
Howdy, y'all.
And we are so excited to welcome a very special guest today. We're having Fleeksie on the podcast for our main segment to talk about bad dating advice from male dating coaches, which have been kind of flooding the market recently. So I'm very excited to dig into that. We have a film review coming up for y'all. We watched Sinners. A lot of people I know watched it, and I was so excited when it came on streaming. I just right away hit play. So I can't wait to talk about it. And before we get to all that, of course, let's have our tea. And if y'all don't mind, I'm just going to start out because I'm very upset about this one. Have y'all heard that Jeff Bezos has purchased Vogue, the magazine? Like,
no, but that makes
crazy.
sense because What's-Her-Face was on the cover of it. And Anna Wintour was just like, that's going to be a wrap for me because I know she stepped down.
Who? Lauren Sanchez was on the cover of it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's who he bought it for. So, and apparently that's why Anna Wintour stepped down. And I'm just so upset about this. Like, we can't have any nice things at all. Like, This is the monopoly that they were talking about. Like, why would Jeff Bezos have anything to do with Vogue? I mean, I can probably think of many reasons why, but I am very annoyed. I do not want to see AI people on the cover.
I know, right?
From a business standpoint, I think that kind of tracks because if you can get like some hit pieces from Vogue on Amazon on Prime and like get that shit delivered next day. So like let's say you see like this model with a beautiful red dress, and if you know they're selling that same exact dress on Amazon, like that could be, it's like another way to advertise for Amazon, I think.
You absolutely will be able to like scan it with your phone and it just gives you an Amazon link. I'm so fucking annoyed. Like, it is just, it was supposed to be good fun. Yes. Supposed to be good fun, supposed to be about high fashion. And now it's just like this, I don't know, the takeover is very discouraging. Like, I don't know, of all the things to be upset about, this is definitely, the least of our troubles. But I have been in mourning for a week. It's just, it's kind of the little things that sometimes push it over the edge. It's like we're being, I don't know, deprived of like even just little fun like comforts. Like everything's just going to be owned by a billionaire. And like they really weren't kidding, when they were like, oh, you're going to own nothing and you're going to be happy. Like, oh my God. Really careening towards that reality right now. Real bad.
I think the person who wrote for that, it was like an article on the Economic Times, and in that article it had that phrase, you will own nothing and be happy. I don't think when they wrote that they meant it to be satirical. I think they were actually trying to say like this could be a good thing.
Us ready.
Microtransactional economy could be a good thing.
Get us ready for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Insane. I might have to read that again and confirm with that for you.
No, I agree.
Maybe it'll be in the
the
link
first thing
below.
I thought when I heard that. I'm like, yeah, they're definitely priming our minds for what's to come.
Well, yeah, because then like media, they're training like film on AI, you know what I mean? Or AI on film and filmmaking and like film scoring and all this stuff. And it's just going to be, they're just going to be pumping out a bunch of garbage at first. You know what I mean? But eventually it will become passable. And as people are not like going to be investing in making like real movies anymore, it's going to be all we have to choose from.
Well, I have a shit ton of old movies. I still got 1,000,001 DVDs, and I always knew, don't get rid of these, because it's nothing for me to go back and restart another Sex and the City run or another Desperate Housewives.
The DVD prepper. This
like
is amazing.
All the movies, all
the entertainment prepper.
Physical media is important.
Because at the end of the day, it's
it
just
is
like
important. That's true.
It's just like the music, like you know how I'm a millennial. Y'all are not. Are you a millennial?
Millennial.
Okay. Yeah. So it's just like how we always say that they don't make music like they used to in the 90s and the 2000s and like even before that, like in my generation of music, like R&B or whatever, or culture of music, should I say. So like, it's the same concept. Like it'll never, so to this very day, even though I listen to a little bit of the new stuff, 95% of the music I listen to is from like the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. So for me, it's the same with the movies. I'm going to always love the movies from the 90s, the Lifetime movies, and you know what I mean? Like I'm going to always go back to that. So in other words, it's not going to be hard for me to not go to the movies and not care what they pump out now with AI because I just don't care about it anyways.
Good for you.
Yeah, I suggest people to like start back building your DVD collection because I'm so serious.
I'm inspired.
Like I'm so serious because that's what I mean. Real entertainment when things were made with quality, those days are gone.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
It's already, I mean, there's a lot of AI intros and stuff like that, but I do think we'll see our first like AI, half AI or like mostly AI television show pretty soon or like movie or something. And like I said, it's not that it's going to be really good, but it's just going to open the door and then they will improve the technology. You know, like
I don't
Will
want them
Smith,
to, though.
Will Smith eating noodles used to look crazy. You know, if you would type that into AI, it used to look really crazy. And now you got Will Smith eating noodles. Like you can definitely pump that out as a video.
But
it
it's
still
just
looks
something,
a little weird, but like
it's just something about knowing that this is not Denzel Washington actually doing this movie. Like I'm just using him as an example. It's just something about that it makes me not want to watch it. I don't care how good the movie is. I know these are not real people. I know they're just using an AI image, and so I'm not interested. Like I literally would never watch anything else like moving forward because it's. So I totally understand. At my age, I get now when I was a kid why the older people didn't like any of the new shit because they saw the progression of like how shit was just the quality of everything was just going down, and now it totally makes sense to me. Now I'm in the same boat. Like I don't care about this. Oh, I don't want to eat fast food anymore. I'm like, how do you not like McDonald's when I was 10 years old and the older people were like, I don't eat that crap, and I'm like, why? I don't get it. You have such a boring life. Now
I get it.
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah,
little things
You're like
that.
We got food at home.
We got McDonald's at home. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
YouTube actually made some changes to their monetization abilities to where like if you are just like responding with an AI or like let's say you're doing a reaction video to something and it's AI, they won't allow you to monetize anymore. Or if you have any sort of like an AI voice or like an AI voiceover of a video, they won't allow you to monetize that either.
That's good. That's encouraging.
Wait, even if it's a that is encouraging. Even if it's a clip though, like if it's a really. Because I use a lot of clips. You know how you can use fair use and you can do commentary on it. But yeah, I'm glad. That makes me feel like YouTube is still trying to maintain some kind of integrity. So that makes me happy.
Yeah, they know they're screwed if people start pumping out like videos at the same frequency that like Facebook posts are getting pumped out. Like it's just going to become a garbage place, like a big garbage dump for AI shit posting, like, and they don't want that. And that's what I was like hoping would happen. I was hoping that like there would be that differentiation, like some kind of switch where you can like filter out AI content. Because I think like, you know, people are going to watch it regardless. But I think that when especially like politicians start getting burned by like fake, you know, AI generated stuff, they're going to have no choice but to regulate on it. Because it's going to be used against them, not first, but second. It's always used against women first. But they'll get theirs, you know, and then they'll figure it out.
I'm glad some platforms still want to like hold on to their integrity for as long as possible when it comes to AI, because if you don't have integrity, you don't have anything as like a platform, especially YouTube.
I don't want to use AI anyway.
No,
when I'm doing any type of content, you know what I mean. I don't even have a desire to. So whatever.
It should have just been kept to like data and warehouse jobs instead of just like art and creative things. Like,
I know.
Like writing stories and pictures. That is the craziest
direction to take it, because that's, I know, it's going to take the longest to like get it to be good. It's completely unnecessary. Nobody really wants it. And this is just how capitalism works. You know what I mean? They just force things on you until you have to use it, till there's nothing else left for you to like the options are barren. It's like the dumbest system.
The craziest thing though is like we have the power to like end a lot of this stuff. So if we all band together, if they decided to start using AI images for Brad Pitt's new movie or whatever, and we all said, well, nobody's going to the fucking theater to watch that, they won't have any other choice but to actually put the real Brad Pitt in the movie and like do movies the way they're supposed to. I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah.
But the problem is it's always never enough people that just want to stand up and do the fucking right thing.
They'll be like, no, I'll go watch it. I'm curious. I want to see what it looks like.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes.
Absolutely no like critical thinking. You
None
know, I just want to
all.
see like.
Because
Okay.
I don't want that. I don't want that world, even though it's too late. But I'm not participating as much as I can when it comes to like that type of stuff. I do think AI can be good and helpful in some areas, but it's just gonna turn everything bad sooner or later, which it's already started, in my opinion, going down the wrong path.
Yeah, I'm glad we got, some of the good films out before AI happened, like the Lord of the
Definitely.
Rings series. Or
Right. I mean, yeah.
Imagine
Oh
if
my
Lord of the
God.
Rings was AI. Just
Oh God.
No,
It's crazy. They probably will
Yeah.
remake it as AI. Like, yeah, you're kind of right, Gwen. Like, we had stopped producing original movies anyway. Like, everyone's just making remakes and like
CGI or whatever it's called.
Well,
Remake.
live action remakes.
You know,
yeah.
at least CGI is like requires some skill or whatever.
Yeah,
But
that's true. Yeah.
I mean, practical effects used to be really good. There's movies made back in like the 80s and stuff like that look just like how they're trying to make them look now, like, but it's all just actually there, which is crazy. Seeing the care with which things used to be done and knowing that it's just like going to turn into a prompt, like the whole script is going to be pumped out by AI and then just put into another AI prompter and then just pumped out. And it's like, must we do that to everything? Like, must we turn every resource, like everything that's available to us, and just a pump it and dump it scheme? I guess. Again, it's just like, this is how capitalism works.
Because humans are lazy,
Instead of
though.
producing anything good and worthwhile, it's just producing the cheapest, laziest, most quote unquote efficient thing. It's like a lot of things that are going to be good are not going to be done efficiently.
Absolutely.
And it just takes the creativity out of things. Like, I started noticing this when I was a teacher because I like taught between that kind of split of like iPad kids. Like, some of my kids were iPad kids and some of my students were like their parents were very strict with technology. And yeah, there's a huge difference. There's a huge, huge difference in like motor skills and like patience and like resilience and stuff. Imagination, huge one. The kids that were like iPad kids, they
lack
imagination. And it was very, very sad. It's like, can you write like a little story like a first grader, And they would just struggle so bad to like just write a story. Meanwhile, the other kids would be like, oh, and then the butterfly did this and the rabbit. Like,
wow.
It, just a totally different thinking process that you're witnessing. Or like even just watching them like interact with like classroom supplies and like how you're handling things. It's like I'm telling you, the fine motor skills.
They're fine motor skills.
Yes, which are connected directly to brain function.
Yeah.
And it affects the large motor skills too, but like mostly
so
the fun.
terrible.
It's crazy.
That's why our team let the birth rate
Into hell,
right?
Oh
Into
my God,
hell.
y'all.
Let it fall.
It's only gonna get worse, unfortunately. Like, man. Oh my God.
I think the worst thing that capitalism ever did was weaponize that part of our brain that prioritizes, the path of least resistance.
Yes.
So like our
Yes.
laziness.
Oh my God!
Yes,
yes.
that's what I'm
making that
saying.
into
We're
a
so
whole
lazy now.
money-making
Yes.
industry. Like, it's called the industry of convenience.
Bars.
And it's like
That's so
our
true.
Uber and like our shorts and like the TikToks, like all that is just, it's a dopamine, taking system. Like, it just wants your dopamine. That's in everything that wants the dopamine is in competition with each other. So like TikTok, Netflix, the shorts, everything that could just like be a quick attention grabber. Like all of that is just competing with each other to see who can just extract the most dopamine from us. And that is horrific. Like, it seems
really
so nightmarish.
is.
Like,
I honestly see like things like Alzheimer's and stuff increasing.
Oh yeah.
Like the way
yeah.
cancer
Oh, yeah.
has, I can see that because they always say one of the ways to ward off Alzheimer's is to keep your brain constantly active, keep challenging yourself with things. And we're not. We're getting so complacent and lazy, and
the boomers especially, you know? It's like
I didn't want to say it.
No,
I didn't want to say it.
No, it's so true. The boomers are going to be the first ones to, I guess, succumb to all this AI slop because it's, again, they especially are really good about, you know, wanting to fall for the whole path of least resistance. Like everything, because everything was kind of handed to them. They had the best economy, minus Reagan. But before then, like with like all that, they got to buy a house. They got to, you know, live on a single income.
The American dream.
Really, they really got the American dream.
Work a summer
job
to pay for college.
Right.
Literally.
Oh my God. When college was the price of a McChicken. Like, oh my. So, because if you ever hear a boomer talk about, you know, how much it was for them to go to school and like
I worked
have a
my
car.
way through. Fuck you.
And then you ask them like how much it was, and then you tell them how much things are today, and it's like watching their head spin. They're like, huh? Like they really can't. They're not in reality, and I don't know because like, do you not go to the grocery store? Like what? How? Like how do you not see like a bag of chips is $6 now?
Right. Like, are you just ignoring that? Like, what do you mean? Like, y'all used to complain every time the price of something went up 5 cents. Now you're silent. You're silent. Like, I feel like I'm complaining into the void. Like, you don't notice that $200 gets you like 2 bags of groceries now? Like,
literally.
That's crazy. If you used to, if you would have given somebody $200 to go grocery shopping, like in 2008, they would have looked at you crazy.
Right.
$200, they'd be like, how am I supposed to spend this money? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But they essentially had the best economy and all that stuff, and they pulled the ladder up behind them because now the pensions, those days are pretty much over for the most part. All of those, you know, all of the things that work hard, and then you can retire, you can buy a house. Yeah, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Those days are fucking over. And they just don't get it. So whatever.
It's kind of like talking to a brick wall with them. I've just given up. But I really do think because AI is going to take them first, then it's going to take the Gen X. Although Gen X is actually, I'll give it to them. They do have a good sense of like how computers work and how software works.
They were the ones that had to teach us.
They taught us. And and millennials, I think we will be the next ones to like fall in line. And then Gen Z will be the last ones because, you know, they're growing up such interesting times with like AI and, you know, how the internet is just everywhere all at once.
This is all they know.
Well, I've actually heard that they're as inefficient as boomers at being able to tell a phishing scam. Like they fall for like the Nigerian prince scams like at the same rate.
Wait, who do?
Gen Z as boomers.
Well, to be fair, a lot of for what we had as millennials, we had, you know, computer literacy classes. Like you probably learned how to type on a keyboard without looking at it.
It was just assumed that Gen Z
then we
just
took those
knows
away.
How to do it.
By like, I want to say like 2010s. And so by the time Gen Z got to school to be able to take those classes were not offered to them because it was just assumed that you already knew how to use a computer and a laptop because those were handed to you or like you had access to those in our, you know, developed country as we have for now. So
for now. Heavy on the for now.
Right.
And
I know. Tea time always gets dark. I don't know how to keep it light. I don't know how to keep it light.
I don't know either.
The good thing about Jeff Bezos' wife is, I mean, girl power, I guess. At least she got her husband.
But he bought it for her. I hate that. Like, where's her money?
But I agree. But it's better to leave with something when they get their eventual divorce.
Like, she kind of got her bag, I guess.
That's the only.
My favorite thing about them as a couple is how much it disproves the whole like, older rich men like would always choose a younger woman if they could. Like that woman's 50 or something.
Yeah. No, the richest man literally, I don't know about the world, married a 50-year-old woman when he could have had whatever, woman he wanted.
In theory.
In theory.
He couldn't have me. I'm sorry. I don't care how much money he got. But, you know, so ladies who are panicking, stop panicking. But,
don't panic about age. It's honestly, I mean, Cecilia Regina has done several videos on this and the proof is out there.
Yeah, definitely.
It really is. Excuse me, Dr. Cecilia Regina.
I might not be the perfect I know, right?
Good for her.
I might not be the perfect example of this,
Proud
but
of her.
At almost 41 it gets worse as you get older. It doesn't get better. At least that's been my experience.
And I've heard that it's like younger men.
Oh, definitely.
That if it's anything, it's younger men that are like, oh no, like men your own age like won't treat you right. Like I'll marry you, I'll take care of you. You have kids, fine. I love kids. Like
I am a kid.
Yeah,
right.
It's like, I'm not
so
saying
funny.
it's a good idea to get together with them. I'm just saying
Absolutely
it's not slim pickings out there for older
I
women.
never understood how women can do that though.
No,
It's
the
so
younger
creepy.
man. Like, first of all, that's just how much dumber he's going to be than you.
Literally.
Like, sorry,
Fair.
even the same age, you have to account for that. Now, you know what I mean? Now take away 5-10 years of experience. Like, oh my God, it's going to be like raising a toddler.
I see that as equality though, because men always go for younger women. Like I see it as if older women can go for younger men, it like evens the playing field a bit.
But men have nothing advantageous to offer.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Being younger.
That's the difference. Yeah, women
I have heard from older women, the older women choose younger men because they last longer in bed. They're usually more willing to please and prove themselves to the older woman who they are afraid of being more experienced than them because they usually are. And so they're more anxious and willing to please. And so hearing that from older women choosing younger men, I'm just like, okay, I see the appeal now. And
but that sounds like the same reason why the men choose. I mean, it's kind of the same though. Like
ladies, put me on in the comments.
A manipulative kind of.
Right. I was gonna say, like, what do y'all think? I don't know. That's an interesting. Like, is that equality or is it like weird? Should women do this or not?
I couldn't. I don't know. I would feel like. I would just feel like a creep.
I think it's a personal preference. It is. And you know what? Is sometimes you gotta fight fire with fire. So I love to see it.
But I do agree with Gwen.
I love to see it. Yeah. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't recommend it.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't recommend it either, but I get it. If it works for you, then have at it.
If you're happy, I'm happy, you know?
A win is a win.
Yes, exactly.
Solidarity.
All right. Well, thank you for the tea time, ladies. That was fun. And let's get to our guest. She's knocking on our door. Let's welcome Fleeksie after the break. Welcome back, y'all. Fleeksie is with us. Let's give her a warm studio welcome.
Woo!
Welcome,
Fleeksie.
Thank you.
Yes, we're so happy to have you here. Could you please tell our audience a little bit about yourself? I'm sure they all know and love you already. We have a lot of, follower overlap, which I love to see. Your content has definitely been recommended on my FYP, and I'm so excited to get into the topic today. So if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and the topic that you're bringing today.
Hi, guys. My name is Fleeksie. I'm a variety content creator. I have my own podcast called Fleekazoid. I talk about life, dating, scams. I'm entering my 30s era, so a lot of my more recent content kind of focuses on that. But I primarily focus on no nonsense, heartbreak, dating, and I guess just like avoiding Dusty's advice. I hate platitudes and I hate anecdotes, so I really get into the meat of my I guess advice for my following. And yeah, I'm just like I guess you could say I'm like a hang out with me and live with me channel, but for the most part, I like to drop gems.
Yes, and you sure do.
Thank you. Also, you guys show up on my FYP too, so it's an honor to be one of the like minds.
Yes, exactly,
definitely.
For sure.
The sentiment's the same, yeah.
And yeah, we're so excited to dive into the topic today. And Fleeksie is very organized, if y'all don't know. She literally, sent us a breakdown. We have audio clips to play, but could you just intro your topic a little bit? And it's kind of your expertise, I've heard. So,
well, yeah. So as a victim of horrible dating advice in the past, I thought, why not make today a segment on all of the bad dating advice givers on the internet, or at least like the main offenders, and how I guess how egregious the advice is, and how you can't actually apply it to your dating world without making your life worse in that sphere.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh, 100%. It's such an easy way to make money too, because women are so brainwashed into finding that, happy ending at any cost. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm all for, if a relationship benefits you, we're not 4B on this podcast per se, but we support the movement. We're definitely allies to the movement, and we very specifically on our individual platforms don't give dating advice, precisely because we know what a crapshoot it tends to be, and that there's really no right way to find a man. Like, there's no
green
checklist,
flags.
There's no green flags. Yeah, whenever we do segments like that, there's always a huge disclaimer in the beginning, because your man can have all the green flags and he can still decide to do you dirty one day. And that's the part that you really got to stay ready for. That's the best dating advice. Like never go into it without a way out, in my opinion.
Totally. I love it.
Yeah, I so agree with the dating realm being like a touchy subject. From far away, like I know that you can kind of attract that vulnerable audience that's looking for people to either resonate with or commiserate with. And it can either lead you to somebody like Shira Seven or Matthew Hussey, and that could determine the next year of your life.
Oh my
Literally.
gosh, absolutely.
That's so true. That is so true. Oh
yeah, okay, well, let's dig in. Tell our audience about this Matthew Hussey. I mean, I've familiarized myself and oh my gosh, but yeah. I love when men try to get into this like sphere too. It's just so ironic to me because it's like, something about that feels.
He's been around for a long time.
He has, since at least like 2017, 2018, because that's when I first came across his content.
Yeah, I think that's around the time I did too.
Coming across his content, like I can say from like coming to you as a woman, like I think a lot of y'all are just stigmatized because he's attractive. Like I will say, like I'm gonna just
that's true. Yeah. That's his brand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think
he's attractive and he really sounds like he really cares about the outcome, you know,
he speaks
of your
in a
dating
soft
life.
whisper tone and he makes you feel comfortable. He looks into your eyes when he looks into the camera.
Literally.
Mm-hmm.
He had such a gorilla grip over the dating advice market too since 2016.
For a long time.
Like, it was like I felt like I couldn't jump in at any point to offer what type of insight I had because it's like, no, Matthew Hussey has got it. Like he owns the kingdom. And then who else was it? It was Derek Jackson.
Derek Jackson.
Yeah. And he was kind of more of like, I'm going to call a man out. Matthew Hussey was like, I'm going to help you get the man. And that was his thing. And I knew that something was weird when the get the man courses with the text messages to send and the best compliments that you can give to make him or to make you win him over. Like that's when I was like, okay, this guy is suspicious.
Yeah.
Like men are not the prize to be chased, honestly.
Never.
What kind of advice is that?
A moment of silence for our sisters.
I was going to say, once you realize how simple they are to actually communicate with, it's like there is no magic words. Like all you have to do is literally exist if they like you.
Exactly.
Literally.
100%. 100%.
That's so true.
So I actually don't know too much about Matthew Hussey. I've only experienced his content from the perspective of heartbroken woman who hasn't dated in like 6 years, trying to get back into the dating scene and going on every single app that was available at the time. So Bumble, Tinder, I didn't mess with Hinge at the time. But I know that like his thing, first he got me in with a heartbreak. Then it was like, okay, I'm trying to date again. How should I move in these spaces? It was so confusing. And his message was just like, make yourself available, make yourself likable, make sure that men know that you're interested back in them, which by the way, doesn't do well in those spaces. No. Even like from a sugar baby perspective, men will think you're a scammer and you're weird and you're doing way too much. So like I seen that like the way that men respond to this, that like, this advice that Matthew gives, apparently people say that it comes from his less attractive little brother. I've never seen his little brother. Maybe he's like a background player, but once you hear the things that he tells women to do, it's kind of like, yeah, this would be coming from a man who wants women to be all up in his space and to not make any questions about whether he's being positively received. So with that perspective being known, you kind of realize that like you're laying yourself out like food on a buffet table, but for the piranhas.
Yes.
And they will eat
rats.
you alive. Yeah,
Literally. Oh my God.
And
Literally.
I think like what gets me with Matthew Hussey is that you get this element of like the broken clock is right twice a day. There is no way to get such a large audience without one, his unassuming, attractive man appearance that yes, you do want to look at and pay attention to. His British voice, it's novel, it has appeal. And then over time, he gets his credentials. He dates Camila Cabello. He's dating celebrities. He's on the radar. Then you get his large library. You get the people who say he does help them, which is true. He does offer advice that probably would help you or either give you some insight. But when he starts telling you where to go as a woman, he does not stick up for women. He gives all the credence and the merit to men to the point where he tells women that they don't use their imagination enough and they're not open-minded enough to red flags. And he kind of like skirts around the ways that men should be fairly critiqued. He just started talking about the male loneliness epidemic. And even then he got it wrong. And I know we're not going to talk about that today. That's homework for everybody else. But I was like, he continues to disappoint women.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it is. And the advice works if you find a man who wants to take advantage of you.
Absolutely.
It works to attract that kind of man by being like open and available and all of that, and like not quote unquote gatekeeping anything about yourself. That is the least safe approach you can have as a woman. Like
borderline
that
desperate.
is not going to serve you.
It's not.
Please don't do that. That's so scary. That's scary dating advice.
But to a pick me, his advice helped me to find this man because, you know, now I'm his servant and now he's using me and whatever, you know, but they don't know. Yeah, it's an honor to them. Oh. Yeah.
He'll make sure that you have a full rotation of hoes, but they're all going to be mediocre.
They're all hoes though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, but they're all hoes. So it's like, do you really have anything special here? No.
I love that you included some of the feedback that he got. Like, I used to actually listen to these when I was younger. And as soon as I realized that the advice was horrible and stopped, my relationship stopped being horrible and actually lasted more than a month. Like,
and that tracks with my experience too, listening to Matthew Hussey's advice. Yeah, because it's either you're ending it within 1 month or they're ending it within 1 month because you gave too many chances, you got burned or scarred, traumatized, and you're like, oh my God, I need to get away from this man. Like, I gave it the opportunity, dead, done. Or the guy is like putting you in a position where you basically end up rejecting yourself, which sometimes can be good because sometimes you need that rejection. But you realize they're not receptive to the lay yourself out on the table advice.
Definitely.
And do men ever do that back? That's my question.
Yeah.
When, like, seriously, you know, like, let's think about that. Like, when has a man ever been like, you know, here's like all my time and space and like, what else do you like? And like, how can I be? Should I shave my whole body? Like, oh my God, get out of here. Like,
when they're trying to move in with you and be adopted.
Yeah.
No, right.
That's adoption.
That's the only time.
Exactly.
And then they switch up as soon as they get comfortable.
Yeah.
And they become absolutely disgusting.
And hard to get rid of after that.
Oh my
And you
God.
can't call 1-800 Save a Dusty to get a refund. Like, you're stuck with him. Especially if he's on that lease.
You got to call the whole man garbage disposal services at that point. You got to whole man in the trash.
Escape your lease.
Yes. No, seriously. That Who the Fuck Did I Marry series, like, perfect example of that. Yeah. And that's the kind of men you're going to attract by being like open and available and pleasing to the male gaze.
And lowering your standards.
Don't be honest on those
seriously.
He walks you into the alligator's mouth. And the problem is that, like, he's not giving any critique of men along the way as he's doing
Why
it.
would he?
He's not even, because right, they both line his pockets.
Right. Yes. That's a very good point.
He's in the perfect position as far as like making money and being successful in that way. He appeals to, you got the men, you got the women thinking he's giving the best advice. And then you got the men like, oh, he's teaching women to come to us and to lower their standards and to stop being such a hard ass. And like, he's in a perfect position financially, in my opinion, as far as that goes.
Right.
Like, he has both audiences, because most people typically have one or the other audience, but he has literally both. So I'm pretty sure he's loaded.
Yeah.
And he has an AI chat bot. Like, that's crazy.
Diabolical.
That's definitely.
He has no ethics.
None.
Wow. No ethics at all.
I don't think even if we could have ethics, like, what would the ethics even be in terms of like dating apps and stuff? Because it's already like they allow serial killers on there and like murderers and like all these sorts of crazy men on there because they don't background check and they expect you to do that. They put the onus on the women to be able to like account for their own safety, as if we don't do enough of that already.
Right.
And I'm still of the belief that that's pretty much all you're going to find on most of these dating apps. Married men,
the bottom of the barrel.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's it. Good luck. Y'all know how I feel about dating apps. Like, I'm just over it.
Yeah, no, I was going to say dating apps and Matthew Hussey's advice, the main thing behind the both of them is give it a chance. Like, be open to it.
Yes.
And so much of that is
let
like...
your guard down.
Yeah, be a little delusional is the underlying message of like when it's the most effective. And I think like to dating apps, like, okay, with dating apps, you always get that one person who comes out of the shadows and is like, this is how I found my person 6 years ago. I gotta be honest though. Sometimes I see the couples that are together because of dating apps, and it's giving My Strange Addiction finds her husband. Like,
oh my God, no,
right.
for real.
I agree.
I know I don't want to put like the onus back on women or make it seem like these only work for a very specific type of person, but like very often you do get that person who is willing to overlook things, who is willing to overextend themselves, or who's already operating from a place of like settling. Like you get two parties who are willing to do both.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
And then you have to look at their so-called testimony. They'll do all this stuff like, I met my man on a dating app and we're doing well and blah, blah, blah. And then it just makes you think of the Wizard Liz situation. Like you did all this bragging and then look at how it turned out. So it's almost like it doesn't really matter when I hear those so-called testimonials of, this is where I met my man. Because it's like, life is not over yet. Like you don't know what's going to happen 2 years from now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like it's still going to end up being a horror story 9 times out of 10. So it's just not worth it. I don't know. It's not even
I will
worth
say that using Hinge or anywhere you can see what they do for work on their little profile works if you're trying to network as a woman. And if you're not busted and you're smart, work smart, not hard, because LinkedIn works for shit. What's another one? Glassdoor, Monster Jobs, Indeed got me nowhere. And so what I started doing was like, I started noticing like how on dating apps they have those little things where you can see the industry that they work at. And I know if it's, something I was interested in, I would swipe right. And like, cause I wouldn't even look at their picture. I would just look at that little part right there just to see if I could, have like a one-on-one with them. And like, while they're thinking it's a date and they're thinking I'm like super interested in their job, which makes them, super, excited. And they're thinking like, oh wow, she's really into me. And really, I'm just like, can I use you as a reference to get my foot in the door? Cause I've really been thinking about joining such enterprises or industry job. And I think I could be a really good fit. And then it finally clicks for them. Like, oh, it was just like a job thing. And it's like, well, yeah, no shit. Because during COVID, it was so hard to even set up an interview. And it would just be like a lot of ghost jobs. And like whenever when that finally like clicked for me and I started using dating apps, I think I got a lot further actually. So it's good for networking.
Thinking outside the box,
That's
Gwen.
so
I love it.
Okay, but Gwen, to your credit, like some of these guys probably can't afford to date you or to see you 5 times a week. So the only way they're going to do that is if they work with you. So you're thinking with your brain here.
Yeah, you are exactly.
Literally.
Work wife.
That's actually really smart.
There you go.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to go in for sugaring, like look for finance. There you go.
That's
And be like, I can be a little secretary. I can answer some phones and set up like little arrangements
Somebody
for you.
call
Like
Shira 7.
I know.
And then hold it down there until you can find your pink collar job.
Right. Yes.
period.
Literally.
This is what women have always had to do. Like, we got to think outside the box, and I love to see examples of it. I just want to emphasize safety is priority. Please be safe. Please be smart. Just as it is with following like Cher's advice. I love her advice, but it is not for the weak of heart. Nope. It is not for, it's not for everybody. It is the business advice. And you got to kind of be God's strongest soldier to do what she does.
Discernment is necessary. You have to be fluent in scams.
Yes. Yeah, but I love it when women scam men. I have no problem with that.
I don't
scam them back
either.
Scam them harder.
Our existence is a scam. We're constantly being scammed. Might as well turn it around.
Heterosexuality is a scam.
Exactly.
That's how I know it wasn't a choice.
A while ago, when we would like get on the topic of men cheating, like who cheats more, men or women, guys would always say women cheat just as much as men, or if not more or whatever. And I used to fight back on that. I used to be like, no, it's y'all. But now I'm like, they fucking should. Like, I actually hope that you're.
Right?
I hope that you're correct. I hope women are cheating more. I'm just saying,
they're getting their lick back.
Yeah, like I encourage it. Whatever.
It's their insecurity that makes them feel like they're being cheated on. I had an ex who would feel like me posting a selfie and even getting attention was me cheating on him. So that's what they could consider cheating.
Yeah, any little
it is.
thing.
Yeah,
100%.
Well, I'm sorry you had to deal with that.
Yeah.
Oh,
you ever hear about the men who get mad? They get mad at their women when they're just like out together walking somewhere, and guys will like just be staring at them. I've been in that situation before, and you're mad at me because men are staring at me. Like, really?
That's embarrassing for him.
It's embarrassing.
Right.
Yes, it is.
Seriously. Please be a little bit more secure. So, should we play this Matthew Hussey clip real quick?
Yes.
All right. This one is called Lower Your Standards? ? I mean, that is The title itself, this man posted this himself.
So I've been told that I have really high standards. And my mom, of all people, told me to lower my standards a little bit because I can be nitpicky a bit. Like, I can get a text message saying, how are you? But then it's spelled out with the letters R and U. And I'm like, oh, this is not going to work out.
Yeah, no.
Because reading and writing is like a huge part of my life.
Sure.
And reading that kind of text message is like blasphemy for me. So
I get it.
in this context, should I...
what's your question is,
Yeah.
when is your standard too high?
No, my question here would be like, in this context, should I listen to my mom and lower my standards?
Okay, there's two aspects to this. One is we have to look at, again, self-awareness. What are the things that are really important to me? Okay? I know that for me, kindness is everything. Everything. If I go on a date with someone and I feel like there's a mean edge to them, if I get on a date and they're already gossiping about people in a nasty way, I'm out. Like, I'm just not interested. It's not even that I'm sitting there judging someone intensely. Kindness is so important to me that it doesn't matter how attractive someone is in every other way. If they don't show that, I don't want to know. You have to decide what your deal breakers are. What are the things that you can't live without? And is someone saying or you a reflection of genuinely bad, a low level of eloquence? Is it really reflective of someone who cannot articulate ideas well? Or is it someone just writing quickly?
Right.
I guess we'll know when you go on a date with that person, right?
Yikes.
And you see whether they can actually articulate their ideas.
Yikes.
There might be a level of instant judgment that happens there that's not necessarily fair to impose on the person. I don't think you're totally wrong. I think you sometimes, and often people who are shortening everything in that way may not value language to the same extent, but we don't know that. So you may want to say, okay, rather than me too early judge this, let me get on the phone. That's the other thing. Like, here's what I would do if I were you. I'd say, it's not really that someone says you that bothers me. What bothers me is if they're not articulate. What bothers me if they can't express themselves well. Right? If they don't have a good command of language. That's what bothers me. So how do I learn that quickly? And this is something I want to tell all of you because it's so important. I have a strong belief that not always, because I don't like rules, but as a principle, I think it's worth getting on the phone with someone before you go on a date with them.
Okay.
She's not impressed. I love it.
It's like a 15-minute phone
Yeah, okay.
Like, what that got to do with me?
I want to go on a date with this person. And I'm going to see if we actually have a vibe at all. FaceTime, even better.
So dangerous.
Like, if I can actually get on a video call with someone and have that, even better. But some people are too scared to FaceTime. If you can get on a video with someone, even better, because I'm now seeing if we have any rapport, and it's going to save me a whole evening of my life. I would get on the phone with that guy, have a conversation, and see if this guy expresses himself in a way that's attractive to you.
Oh my God.
Is he for real?
If he does, go on the date. Ignore the text. If he doesn't, then you have a real answer, as opposed to trying to read so much into one little aspect. Make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So the compromise between you and your mum is, all right, Ma, I'll get on the phone to him.
Oh, okay.
I'll speak to him on the phone. But that doesn't mean I'm going to give him a whole night of my life right now.
Yeah.
All right? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yawn.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes your mom is your biggest ops, though, telling you to lower your standards.
Yes. Like,
that's diabolical.
Let's find a compromise with your pick-me-ass mom. Like, come on. They're both wasting your time. They're both wasting your time because they believe that a woman's like greatest goal in life is to meet somebody and get married. And it's like, no, your greatest goal in life is to become self-actualized. Like,
Absolutely.
honestly, as a person. And whether that happens in a partnered relationship or without, that's your biggest goal. And you will realize that soon enough in a partnered relationship too. Like, and if you don't have a partner who's also focused on that goal, then like there's no point. And a guy who's texting like that is rarely going to be the type of person that is like working on self-actualization, because like you would, you know what I mean? Like
so true.
They're working on sounding cool or something. They're working on sounding nonchalant.
Yeah.
Nonchalant men need to be banished from the dating marketplace. Nobody wants you.
Yeah.
Nobody wants you. You're being nonchalant for no reason. Like, what the? I don't know.
I have so much to say. I just want to go towards this.
Please.
No, go ahead.
Please.
No, go ahead.
Go for it.
Yeah, so immediately right away, I feel like Matthew Hussey makes it about him. And I have a problem with dating coaches that don't acknowledge, like, hey, I'm going to make it about me for a second, but I'm going to tell you why. And then circling back to it, because he took it so off the rails about women and kindness, where he was insinuating that she is not being a kind person by judging him for the how are you message.
Yeah.
And it's like, shut your mouth for a second, because that's not what the issue is. Like, she's talking about men who show up low effort right out the gate. They're telling you how much investment and energy they're putting into their immediate presentation. I don't know about you guys, but like, is anybody still communicating with the man who speaks in hieroglyphics and like 3 letters? Because I
Emojis, no.
I'm not in active communication with anyone like that.
But also we're like older, so like maybe there might be kids who still use like emojis and like the RUs, but like I think at some point, like if like let's say if this woman is like, and I want to assume like she sounds like she's in her mid-20s to late 20s, that like it becomes less appropriate at that age. Like it's like
I agree.
You know, I mean, as kids and as teenagers, like whatever, but like to date seriously.
Yeah. You expect women to spend so much time on like hair, makeup, everything like that before a date, and you can't be bothered to type out like 4 extra letters and an apostrophe.
Right.
You know, like that is weird. Also, like at this point, you would have had to like make your iPhone like not autocorrect it. So like you've put more effort into, you know, being able to use these hieroglyphics or whatever, then, you know, you could have just put into just typing it out or letting it autocorrect. Like, that's crazy.
I totally agree.
I don't know.
He also said that it's like a man who's short on time. Baby, there are CFOs writing novels and paragraphs to young women every day with no issue. Like, you got surgeons doing the surgery with one hand and typing on the other. So it's definitely not a guy who's short on time.
And if you work at the nearest like fucking microwave factory, you're not that busy. I'm not trying to be funny. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not like running the planet. Like, you're not doing anything.
No, seriously, like, what are you doing? Cooking dinner for yourself as a man? Like, what are you doing? Shaving your legs? Like, I don't know, doing a skincare routine?
What could you be doing that's so busy?
Any of that.
Most men have an unusual amount of time to text women.
Yeah. Yes.
They have too much time on their hands.
Too much time. That's why most of them are cheaters. So it's like,
and they have like 2 families.
I will never buy that as an excuse. But please keep going, because you're like, you know, the things that you're able to clock. Like, I love it.
Oh my God.
Me too.
Well, I mean, just in general, him making it about himself, him insinuating that she's not kind, him not going into the deeper dynamics of dating apps and how men choose to show up. My mom 15 years ago was beefing with men who couldn't type. Like, it's things that men still continue to do in the dating app space that they continue to ignore. Like, they continue to ignore the advice that women are saying, like, hey, don't do this. Like, we're not into that. And I think that video that I showed you, I think it was about a little, like, I want to say 7 to 8 years ago. Fast forward now to male loneliness epidemic, because Matthew Hussey uses his advice to tell women to settle and not how to tell men to show up in a way that women would be, that women would be receptive to evolve. But, all right, that's all the ammo I have on him. Like, y'all can go.
No, that's really good.
No, it's
really
accurate to the T.
If your intuition turns you off about something in that moment, I think you should listen to it.
Always.
Because even if it's something that you think is small, don't gaslight yourself out of that, and don't let other people gaslight you. There's a reason why that particular thing turned you off. And the things that we ignore in the beginning always end up being the things that we regret in the end when it's time to end a relationship. So just save yourself the trouble. Just there's a reason why something is turning you off. There's a reason why something is giving you the ick. Listen to it.
Every ick is valid.
And it's
too.
such an obvious one too. It's literally communication.
The most important
communication,
thing.
like literally, yes.
It's base
and then the
level
same man
stuff.
will be like, yeah, well, did you communicate with him? I don't know. He uses like a single letter for a whole word.
He uses emojis.
He's trying to speak in like, oh my God. He's trying to speak in code. Like, what the hell? That's not good communication.
Yeah, no,
Literally.
I fully agree. I think to give Matthew one single flower, he is right that sometimes jumping on the phone or doing a FaceTime call can save you so much time in the long run. But not in this context with a man who can't text. And also, if anybody is going to take that FaceTime advice, I urge you to set a 10-minute timer.
No, seriously. Yeah. But also like the insinuation that, like he could be a really kind guy and you're just like missing that. I don't think that that's true. Like most of the time women are trying to vet out predators. And I have heard of like, I can't share them on here because it's like actually people I know and the stories are very disturbing. But like the dating horror stories that I've heard and like the literal essay that happens to women on dates 3 out of 4 times, like men are absolutely cannot control themselves. Like you're insinuating that a man who like texts bad is like some hidden kind, like gentle prince. And it's like, no, he is, those little things is exactly what helps you weed out guys who don't think you're worth the time of like typing out an entire word, or like they are so worried about presenting themselves like a certain type of way, which is like already misleading to me. Like if you don't have time to type out a word, you don't have time to have a girlfriend. Like why
totally
are you here?
agree.
It's just a weird energy to send forward, and it's a much weirder thing even to like insinuate, a man that gives you a red flag feeling, like no, he could just actually be really kind. Like that's dangerous.
Yeah, that's
like,
so dangerous.
I don't want women thinking that. Like most of the time, if you have a check in your spirit, as they used to say in church, like if you got that check in your spirit, it's usually there for a reason.
Literally.
Like it's trying to tell you something. Like please listen every time.
And his advice might not be so terrible. It's so tone deaf. It might not be so terrible if we lived in a different world where men were not our number one apex predator. It's like, just give him a chance.
Exactly.
Okay, because the chances of us getting murdered and raped is very low because the men are just not, we don't live in that world.
Exactly.
Maybe. But
then
because he's so tone deaf, he's so tone deaf about it. And women have to understand that men are always going to give dating advice that benefits men. It is never to benefit you, like 9 times out of 10. So that's the part that I want women to pay attention to. It's all about what's going to make it easier for the man. What does he like? What does he disapprove of? It's never going to really be done with you in mind. Matthew is one of those people who's just really good at packaging it like he's concerned about you and your well-being. Men are always going to pick each other, and it just is what it is.
Yeah, the biggest pick means of all.
Yeah, I think that's got to be like some of the first I've seen of like a dating coach just use Theraspeak as a way to like obfuscate just some of the obvious red flags that, I think are much more apparent to women who are more in tune with themselves, because a man who uses that kind of language to me is already, it's exuding this energy of like, I don't really give a fuck about you. And the fact that she was trying to communicate that to him and she was trying to say like, I could not, carry forward the conversation with this. And he really just gaslit the hell out of her and was just like, are you being kind? Are you making sure you're holding space and all this other bullshit? And it's just like, I can't. I have so much beef with Matthew Hussey, and especially like some of his text messages that he wants you to send to, men that have like not even responded to you for like 3 days or 4 days or however long, that they're just, breadcrumbing you. God, it's so tone deaf.
It is.
Because one of the text messages, like, what was it? It was like, if he, doesn't respond to you after like you attend a date and
do you want me to play that one?
Yes, play it.
Yeah, we're ready.
Yes. Okay.
It's kind of a mask. This idea of labeling someone a nice person is, or labeling someone the bad boy. Why? What? Because they didn't call you for 3 days, that makes them a bad boy?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Because they were a bit of a jerk to someone, like to the bad boy. Like, what is that? What is that label? Do you think they're the bad boy all of the time?
That's so irritating.
Saying so little.
24 hours a day? Of course they're not. But based on this label you've given them, they're exciting. Based on this label you've given this person, they're boring. So I think that, yes, of course there is a sense of there's a kind of reflexive attraction that we can have for people. I think that's sometimes a lack of imagination and a lack of curiosity. If you took time to actually get to know somebody. I'm not saying you go on a date with someone where there's absolutely zero chemistry and you just keep hitting and hoping and going, oh, well, I'll see them again because maybe one day chemistry.
Girl, everything that we needed to hear.
Yeah. Okay. That is so much worse. Let me just tell you before you jump on this one, Fleeks. But ladies, if a man does not call you for 3 days, he's just not that into
I wouldn't
you.
even say one day.
He doesn't give a fuck.
I would say,
I would say 1 day.
hours.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
I'm sorry. The excuses don't matter. If he's really interested in you, he can take 5 seconds to go take a piss. He could take 5 seconds to text you. Like, it's not... Oh my God.
There's men out here with whole second families making that time to
That's what I'm saying.
reassure the
Literally.
second mom or the second wife that she matters. And like, it could have taken him, but it's literally like a 5-second text message to be like,
Literally.
I'm a little busy right now, but I haven't forgotten you. Like, let me just find some time like later to call you and we can chat then, and like set a time like at 8:30 p.m. before we go to bed and like FaceTime. Like it's so
really
easy
is.
and it doesn't even cost any, because like autocorrect will also, fill in some of those sentences for you. So it takes even less time. So it's them using,
Exactly.
It's literally the bare minimum.
That's so
Women are
true.
out here begging for breadcrumbs, like, and it's terrible.
Oh, you hate to see it. It's
This is exactly the kind of relationship that's going to give you that, like, what do you mean he sucked the life out of you? Like, that it's going to be you. That's going to be you. For real. 3 days.
You can start vetting some of these like, awful dating coaches out by asking yourself, like, are they giving men too much of a benefit of a doubt than they deserve?
Yes.
Because that's exactly, I think, what could have solved all of these girls' problems, is that he's just giving too many men the benefit of a doubt that they're all good and that they're not predators and that they're all here for,
the same kind of advice that a pick-me woman will give you, except for some of them don't even try to hide it. They'll just be like, well, all men are like that. And but I really want to hear you go in on him about the lack of imagination, please.
Well, I think he uses a lot of words to say not all men. That's right away what I'm picking up.
Yes.
Also, he's saying, oh, what, they're a bad boy? They're a bad boy? Matthew, call them a fuck boy. That's what they are. Yes, a fuck boy would wait 3 days to get back to you because he's playing games. Like, not because he's too busy. Also, I think him saying use your imagination. It's like, don't see reality. Don't see the reality that's right in front of you. Like, if you walk away from that advice feeling like, okay, it's not all men, and maybe I just need to be more quote unquote open-minded, babe.
Standing ovation.
Yeah, he's telling you to be delusional. Also, thank you.
That's so true.
That's what I have to say.
He's literally telling you to be delusional. Fake it till you make it. To what? To the altar with a man who won't text you back for 3 days? Like,
with a man who would throw you in the water?
Yeah.
With a man who would smash cake in your face? Like,
who would
you know what I mean?
Seriously,
Like,
who wouldn't
you to be
piss
a
on you if
doormat.
you
This
were in
is-
a fire? Seriously, like, that is so crazy. And that men are usually on their best behavior in the first like little while. Again, if he was a good dating coach, he would tell you that. He'd be like, no, that's absolutely not acceptable, because as a man, I can tell you, we're on our best behavior the first couple months, you know? And that's the kind of truths that he would be exposing. Instead, he's probably covering his own tracks. Do y'all like, I just always think about like, how many women is he currently
I'll be
playing?
thinking the
You know what I
same
mean? Like the
thing.
Andrew Huberman thing.
Yes.
Like, the man literally had freaking a girlfriend in every city around the world. And it's like, I just know that's this man. And he's like, oh yeah, if he doesn't text you back for 3 days, like, yeah, I bet you want that excuse to be out there.
Yes, to be able to use that. Because they
you
know that
can
their girls
still-
are watching. They know all 5 of their women in 5 different states are listening to what they're saying.
Yes.
And so, and that's the thing with Derek Jackson. Derek Jackson literally told no lies. The thing that killed him was that he wasn't living the example that people assumed he was, even though I never really recall him ever saying, I am this good guy. He was just exposing the stuff that men were doing. So So to me, that made him a good dating coach in as far as that, like exposing the real deal. If a man is not calling you in 3 days, this is why. He's playing games. He got another chick. You know, he was very honest about that. But he just turned out to be like this like loser, serial cheater, lying, abusive man behind the scenes. And that's what screwed him over. Had he just been honest about who he was, but he was still dropping gems, he probably wouldn't have had the scandal that he had. But yeah, a good dating coach would tell you, like, this is the real deal. Like, this is why men are playing games with you. Even they are still manipulating women too, though. But, you know, whatever.
Even having a little brother will sometimes be able to like be the ones to give you the brutal honesty about how men operate, like a brother figure in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. They'll tell you.
Definitely.
That's why they hate when you have one.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to say that, like, I just wish that Matthew would go into, like, the intricacies of, like, okay, because we're not going to call it a green flag if he texts you right away or if he takes 3 days to text you, but generally just, like, unpacking what interest looks like from a man. Why would it be okay if he went 3 days? Why would it not be? Like, so I don't know about you guys, but, like, before they drive off, like, I get the, hey, I had an amazing date with you. Like, when can I see you again? Like, I wish that he painted scenarios and situations that were actionable, because he leans very like heavily on this like flowery, poetic sounding advice. It sounds good to my ears, but you can't practice it. There are no tools and there is no scenarios that you can recognize.
I agree.
Yes, I absolutely couldn't agree more. I'm just going through your document, making sure I didn't miss anything.
It's the current red flags, but it's me saying that I could tell that he now uses ChatGPT.
Yeah,
you can hear the difference in his advice and how he's upgraded his game, but we don't have to listen to it. It's more of like an observation of like, even he knows his bread is going stale. Girl, he finally is talking about limerence, which, by the way, feels so late. He literally has just started talking about limerence 2 days ago.
Seriously?
Yes.
Amazing.
Wow.
Okay, so can we listen to that clip? Let's see.
Of course.
Maybe it's because they still get their owls in London over there or some shit.
If he's talking about limerence, it's possible he's gonna try to shift his message a little bit, because in my opinion, more and more women are waking up, and so your bread is gonna go stale sooner or later, and you're gonna have to find a subtle way to shift the narrative into, ladies, this is what you need to look out for, versus giving men the benefit of the doubt all the time, which is what his advice has been this whole time, or his type of, advice has been this whole time. But that's what they're going to have to do. The trend now, the men are shifting over to exposing the men now, because they see how lucrative it is. It still is bullshit.
They're still just trying to make like money off of women. And I've heard lots of like really good critiques leveraged against those kind of creators, because you're telling women, first of all, things that they already know. We already know these things, and you should be speaking to men, if anything. I don't know, critiquing men, but for the male gaze. You know what I mean? Like, women already know these things.
The way Public does. Everybody comes down on Public, the public offender, and Public doesn't even cater his content towards women. His content is literally towards men. He's like, well, I don't feel comfortable talking to women and telling women already know these things.
Exactly.
Let's talk to the men.
Exactly.
And, get them on board.
He's the only man we've ever had on this show.
Literally. We love him.
And we still, we love him. And it's like, and a man is a man is a man is a man. And he would agree with that too. He'd be like, if I get exposed, I get exposed. Like, his stuff is out there in the open. Like, people have tried to expose him as a grifter, and it's like, there's really nothing there to like expose. I don't know.
There's nothing.
So, okay, let's listen to this limerence clip up until the 2-minute mark, right?
I don't want you to listen to the full 2 minutes, but I think what I really want to take away from that clip is that his advice sounds so much better than these last 2 clips, and it's because he's not going off the top of the dome. He's like quoting another author, and he's unpacking another person's words and just regurgitating them. Now, he does give them credit. Okay, so he's doing his due diligence, but the 2 out of 10 minute mark is when he starts to sell a course. So when I'm like, wait, before you play that full 2 minutes, if anything, maybe show the difference when he's not creating his own content off his own brain.
Okay. All right.
In the next few minutes, I want to help you avoid wasting precious years of your life thinking about, obsessing about, and pining after someone who is wrong for you.
There it
and I'm
is.
going to do it by talking about a concept that so many of you have been asking me to talk about for literally years. And that concept is limerence. This is the original OG book on limerence by Dorothy Tenov, Love and Limerence. I have been digging into this book on your behalf so that we can talk about it today in relation to someone you may be thinking about right now. So let's start with what limerence actually is. Limerence is the obsessive desire to have someone who we have fallen for love us back. It is the relentless obsessing over this person, the desire to be with them, to own them, to have them yesterday, today, and for all of time. It is the hope that this person is thinking about us in the ways that we are thinking about them, and the inability to stop thinking about them in every moment we have available, and even in the moments we do not have available. When we are at work, when we are supposed to be spending time with other people, when we are supposed to be doing important things that move our life forward and we cannot focus. All we can do is think about and fantasize and dream about this person and what could be with them if they felt the same way about us. Now, what is needed for limerence to take place? How do we become limerent about a person? We have to have two elements: hope and uncertainty. So what tends to happen in limerence is it's perpetuated by this hope that we're reading signs from this person that they're interested in us, the uncertainty of not knowing for sure if they're interested in us, and the deep fear of actually acting on our feelings and ruining this idea of what we have in our mind and the possibility of it going somewhere because we come on too strong and we scare someone away. The worst thing in the world for a limerent person is to be rejected by the person they are limerent about, because at that point, it turns into a full obsession. One of the most negative effects of limerence is on our confidence and our sense of self-worth. I have been there myself in a situation where I truly lost myself. And in doing so, I lost connection to what was valuable about me, to what was important about me. I put
not the music coming in.
Right.
If you are feeling that way and you want a plan for rebuilding your confidence and rediscovering your sense of self-worth, I am holding a 30-day free
And there it is. Oh my God.
That music.
Oh my God. The music.
The moment he made it about himself for me, like I'm like, okay, well, I see where this is headed. Yeah.
Oh,
because he's trying to be relatable.
There.
He's trying to sound relatable.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you've been there? You? Matthew Hussey? Really? Which I don't even know if I believe, by the way, but whatever.
No. He doesn't seem like he yearns for women.
Right. Like,
no. I would never buy that.
Me either.
His love for women is performative.
It's so performative.
You can also hear him reading. You can hear the build up, the strategy of the message.
Yeah.
Like he's quick to sell you the course after he's like, by the way, I've been obsessed just like you. Yeah. Also, I feel like I disagree with the sentiment that like the worst thing a limerent person can experience is rejection, because that's usually actually the moment that your limerence cures. Like you stay in a limerent state because you don't get rejected. They like keep you
such
hovering.
a good observation.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh my God.
I didn't even write that down. I was like, wait a second, that's not right.
Right.
See?
I agree.
See, that's off the dome. That's what I'm talking about. Because there is a difference. It's like, when he's directly quoting a woman, he actually sounds kind of smart, right? But when he's put on the spot, he's like, well, I don't know. The guy seems pretty cool. And it's like, oh my God.
Use your imagination.
Yeah, exactly.
God.
Yeah,
Be
just
delusional.
be delusional. Exactly. Yep. We had the same idea. Yeah. There's so many of these men like feel so comfortable taking advantage of women to the tune of like thousands and thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? I mean, we've mentioned Anwar on the podcast before, and like we're not haters or anything like that, because he does have some valid critiques and his content is not terrible. And the woman that came out and accused him of like, or she didn't accuse him, she said she spent like $10,000 on dating coach advice. I don't know if you like heard about that whole thing, but yeah, she said like over time she had spent like $10,000 on like coaching sessions with him, and then she found a husband, but then the way she described the husband was like very much giving hostage situation, like on both ends
literally.
somehow. Like it was just so bad. But I guess it was like over time and things like that. But I still don't think that men should be like charging women for like one-on-one advice of how to act around other men. That's scary.
That's how you know it's a scam.
Yeah.
Well, as a woman, that's how I know you're a pick me. Like, why are you doing that? Like, you're already in like, I don't know, like we've all been there, you know, to some extent, some level. So I'm not trying to pick me shame. That is a canon event for, you know, most of us. But it's just like, that's how you know you're not really ready for the real dating advice, because you're willing to pay for it from a man to the tune of like tens of thousands of dollars. Like, I don't know.
Just
that's
to end up,
end
up with the same man everybody else has.
Yes.
That they're complaining about. Like, that's the craziest part about it.
And you have to bend over backwards.
I mean, no,
to do
I've
that.
never heard of this woman before. I would assume that that's a lack of resources, maybe like a lack of strong women in your life, or people who will give you advice that you feel like is going to take you in the direction that you want it to lead to.
Vulnerable. Yeah, for sure. That's what they take advantage of.
And sometimes people like Matt know that like you'll listen to somebody like him in the hopes that you get a person like him. And unfortunately, though, he's actually leading you towards his unattractive little brother.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Worse.
Oh my God.
Or worse.
Yes.
We need to
exactly.
We're going to put a link
No,
down below for y'all on YouTube. Please. I gotta see.
If you really think about it, that is so true. You're not going to, whatever perfect picture that you have of like Matthew Hussey type of man or these type of attractive dating coaches, you are never going to end up with that guy. You literally are going to get the worst bottom of the barrel. Like, I just, and they know it. He knows it. That's the part that just kills me. Like, he knows it. I can only imagine how many women he has anyway in general, though, but whatever.
I feel bad that like the therapy industry kind of plays into Matthew Hussey's hand, because like, have you heard about what people experience in the therapy space?
Started. Oh my God.
It's like the fact that he is like so high production in his quality too. Just that works in his favor, despite the fact that his advice is what it is.
That does a lot of heavy lifting for sure. For sure. And seriously, like the therapy field, like we're going to have to do a whole separate episode on that. That will need multiple parts, because
well, it's a male field, right? Like all of the greatest minds.
It is a male field. It's a male field.
Yeah, all the greatest minds in therapy were dudes.
In psychology.
And and I just feel like the advice is like, don't tell people what they actually need to do, guide them towards it. You can't be on the nose. It's why some people do prefer life coaches, because like people say that, well, this is the common critique with therapy. I personally haven't experienced it myself. And I will say there are multiple forms of therapy. It's not just always talking to another person. There's group therapy, there's practices and tools. But people have said that therapists will kind of marinate you in a negative experience, and then a life coach will facilitate you forward. And I think Matthew Hussey comes across as that person who will facilitate you forward. And that's why like people are turning to him and giving him thousands of dollars.
He resonates with a lot of people. Yeah.
Totally. And people want fast results too. I mean, the positive thing about therapy is when you do go into like individual therapy, you are maybe marinating in those results to like an end, you know, it's a means to an end. And I get that, you know, like EMDR therapy, that's like specifically for that kind of stuff where you know, what some might call marinate on a bad experience, but then it like unlocks certain things. It has you, you know, take a deeper look at yourself, and like that's good. But when you're talking about like most people, they don't want to invest the slow and painful work into it and look at themselves first and foremost. Like I think couples therapy is oftentimes like a quick fix. Like I think you need individual therapy first and foremost.
I agree.
A lot of people jump into it and it's like you're oftentimes on such wildly different levels of emotional maturity and like being able to understand complex ideas as a man versus a woman. Like, I'm sorry, no shade, but like women have to accept very complex realities versus men. Men want things to be simple. That's why they're like, just make me a list, just da-da. And it's like, no, the goal is for you to be able to look around your own damn house and know what needs to be done. That should not be a quality that you sit there with a therapist, You know what I mean? You're
Right.
wasting everybody's time at that point.
I
You know, like
know.
you need to understand as a man why yourself, like you yourself don't want to take care of the place where you live, why you're okay with letting another human being just like, you know, bust their ass in front of you every day doing 10 million different things. Like all of that is not okay. But people be like, yeah, just go to couples therapy. Like there's such a vast gap in between what
I
you're trying
know.
to communicate as a man versus a woman.
Right.
And the man will just be like, well, touch is my love language and she doesn't touch my pee-pee enough. Like that's what it comes down to. And she's like, I'm literally drowning. I'm drowning. I'm working a full-time job. I have kids, all this stuff. But it's like, yeah, the life coach people are very, very tempting for a lot of people because people want just a fast result. They just want to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to wake up and find my Prince Charming. If I lower my bar enough, maybe Prince Charming will like step over it. Like, oh my God. I don't know.
On the note of what you said about
step over it.
Yeah, I was gonna say on the note of men who like don't clean and don't know how to clean or where to start. I think I've said this on someone else's podcast before, but like the exes I had that had a natural cleaning instinct, they went to prison or jail.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And I was like, oh, they have the cleanest
See what I mean?
houses.
You
Yeah.
can't
Just send them to
win.
jail,
Like you
babe.
can't. There's no vetting. Seriously, they should start in jail and prove their way out. Oh my
That warden's
God.
gonna make sure they know the cleaning skills.
Seriously.
Oh God.
Or they play for
You know?
or they play for the other
Yeah,
team.
you can't weaponize
Yeah.
incompetence your way out of that one.
So it's like,
Bedroom clean by 10 p.m. sharp every night.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
Stop. Now I'm like scared.
I
You know, what I
know,
mean? I'm
I
scared
know.
on women's behalf of
I know.
another thing that I didn't know we needed to be
Another
scared
fear
of. That's
unlocked.
So
Right.
that is.
Only men who go to jail
But
know how to
thank
clean.
you. But thank you. See, this is dating. This is the real dating advice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not encouraging
Right.
and it shouldn't be. If you feel encouraged by dating advice, turn it off.
yeah, I totally agree.
Turn it off.
That's a good
I'm
way to
sorry.
put that.
Especially if they're selling you
Ruthless-
something.
Ruthless vetting is the only way to go. I'm sorry.
No, that's true. It's
Continuous.
yeah. It's hard to do in the moment because you want to approach dating with optimism. Everybody says at least just have fun with it. Like you can't have fun if you're not in your optimistic brain. But ultimately, like you're gonna have more fun if you protect yourself from the dookie experiences.
Exactly. Because
Couldn't
women
have said it better.
underestimate how much that really has the power to actually ruin your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to actually just like slow you down on a path of like, you could have been on such a good path and then boom, you meet a man.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. And everything just,
Remember that?
you know?
Remember that girl on TikTok that went viral for saying there are so many women out there who don't have a college degree because of a man. There are so many women out there who missed out on buying a home or whatever because of a
100%.
man. Like, literally, they will ruin your life.
Yes.
Especially when they're doing really well for so long, and then everything is almost turned upside down almost overnight just because you got into a relationship. Like
People underestimate that.
they do.
And that's going to be the worst relationship you're ever going to have.
Yep.
The whirlwind romance, the roller coaster, like the ups and downs, the guy who wants you to move in with him like 2 days after he meets
Yeah.
you. That relationship will F you up.
Yep.
Like that's one of the canon events, I swear.
I totally agree.
Not everybody has to go through it, but it's one of the canon events because I've seen it happen to so many friends and it's so unfortunate. The other really unfortunate thing is we are out of time and I have to wrap it up because Ryan's already told me like twice.
That's okay.
But yes, and as we say this to like all of our guests, but seriously, like we need to bring you back on
for sure.
like a segment just to break this stuff down more.
For sure.
This has been so helpful. Like the things that you're able to notice, you can tell this is definitely your area of
Definitely.
expertise. Because you're
Unfortunately.
like, yeah, right.
I know,
Aw.
right?
Thank you.
Bittersweet.
Yes.
Thank you. Also, you guys are incredible at it too. Like I couldn't have picked him
thank
apart
you.
with a better group of people. Like
Oh,
It was so fun.
like I would do it alone, but now he's got 4 people
Love
to go
it.
against. So
Yeah, exactly. Come at us, bro. No, seriously.
You want my 200 in my checking account? Like, what are you going to sue me for?
no, I know. I know, he's so funny.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there's many other creators. I know we are not going to have time to cover Benny on TikTok, but y'all check him out and see if you can use the skills that Fleeksie has, displayed here to clock your own, like to see if you can spot the red flags. Like the dating coaches also have red flags. Like anything that has to do with that area has to be very carefully vetted. And that's why I don't mind, you know, when people kind of like push back against like, oh, aren't you married or aren't you all in relationships? Like, you know what I mean? Like everything deserves to be vetted. Every, you know, content creator, like, have your own discernment. You know, are they saying things that are true objectively, or are they speaking and projecting their experience onto you? And that kind of stuff goes both ways, right? We've said this before on the podcast, like people that say you can't decenter men and be in a relationship with men, like that's a projection as well.
It is.
You know what I mean? And we're all at different places in our journey. And I think it's important to remember that. As always, you know, we welcome audience feedback, whatever y'all think. Let us know what you think of Benny's videos. If you go look him up, we'll drop the links in the comments. But yes, thank you once again to Fleeksie, and please make sure y'all go check her out on all the platforms. Follow her podcast. Podcast is so much work to do, so I'm really, you know, impressed that you have one. Sounds like you self-produce
Yeah,
it.
it's 100% me.
That is awesome.
And,
Yeah, that is so awesome.
That's
you.
amazing.
Oh my God.
Props
Yeah.
I'm
to
just
you.
a control freak.
Yeah, serious props.
Thank you.
I get it.
I'm like, only I can
No,
do
that's
it right.
Understandable.
Yeah, you're right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
No, that's
I'm
amazing.
Fleeksie on everything. You can find me at Fleekazoid. I'm also Fleekazoid on YouTube. And yeah, I've been at it for a few years now. And the journey and the messages grow and change as I do. So yeah, you'll notice that in the content.
We love to see it. We love to see it. The growth arc, I think that's very validating for a lot of women to kind of see the journey. And yeah, we love
Yeah,
to
and
see
it was so awesome to be a part of this podcast today. It's so hype. It's just like so hype for me to be a part of the community and to be around like minds. So thank you guys for having me.
Yes.
And of course, yes, I would love to come
Of
back.
course. Okay, then we'll put it on the books. All right. Thank you so much, and we'll be right back with our film review segment after we say bye to Fleeksie. All right, y'all, it's film review time. And this week we picked Sinners. Sorry, there was no poll. Sometimes these things sneak up on us. We're just three girls, okay? Like, we're just doing our best out here. But we wanted to cover Sinners because while it's not like overtly a feminist film, and it was directed by a man, I did find, first of all, it has a really great message. And like, as far as it covers a lot of bases as far as intersectionality, and like there's so much to speak on that was done really, really well. And I think, you know, good work should be spotlighted. And it's been quite a bit discussed in the media and stuff, and it was a big film. So we do like to cover things that are current, things that are making an impact on society regardless. And so, you know, sometimes we review films just to shit on them. We've done that before too, but this will probably not be one of those reviews. I don't foresee that. And I just did want to say that there are definitely some feminist themes in there that may not have been intentional, but maybe they were intentional. And so I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed the way that women were portrayed in that movie. But before we dive in, let's set it up a little bit.
The beginning was just talking about like a myth of somebody who can play music so well that it brings forth the spirits from the past and the future. And it was kind of like setting the tone of the story. And then the scene opens with like a kid, and he has like a piece of a guitar, and he's all bloody and scratchy. He had obviously like been through something. And the church, and he's walking to this church, and the congregation is like, you know, scared, and they're like, you know, leaving room for him. And the pastor is obviously the kid's father, and he's like, son, come here. And he's like, see, like, you don't get nowhere with that music. The music that you play, it'll attract the devil. If you go looking for trouble, you're gonna find it, type of deal. And then it starts 24 hours earlier, and then you get into like the actual story of these two brothers, Stack, and what was the other one's name? I forget right now off the top of my head. Smoke, that's right, Smoke and Stack. And they're twins, played by Michael B. Jordan, who's fine, I will say. It was so it started out, and then they were like, they had this dream of opening up their own juke joint, and in order to do that, they had to have like, you know, this bag of money that they were in the middle of a transaction with, it was like a Klansman or somebody. It was obviously like just this older white gentleman, and he had on like the suit, and he acted real seedy about the whole thing, which also set like a whole foreshadowing of events to come. He was just like, yeah, I'll give you this place, but sure, I'll take your money. And then they actually end up, opening up the juke joint. It's, super successful. And then without saying too much and spoiling the movie, should I just go ahead and say it?
Spoilers ahead, but yes, it's kind of like a horror, themed film. It's very like Southern Gothic horror as well. Mm-hmm. It was funny because we watched it almost like immediately after we came back from seeing Beyonce's Cowboy Carter tour. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of overlap. Like she captured that aesthetic also really well in the visuals and stuff like that. That was really exciting, just being like that Leo DiCaprio meme where you're just pointing at stuff. Yeah. Like the Irish tap dancing was really great. But yeah, there's a lot of like rich history portrayed in that movie that we like never get to see. And obviously, speaking as a white person, like we're not taught. Like I've had to go out of my way, thanks to the U.S. education system. I've had to go out of my way in my own like adult life and time to learn about the atrocities that have happened on this land. And I think, some of the point of the movie is that they were not limited to, slavery and things like that, but that there was so much more people that have been affected by the American dream, than we even think of. Like, yeah, there was just a lot of that rich backstory that is very much hidden from us. And I'm glad that, at least somebody's out there exposing it, because the curriculums even that we're supposed to teach children about the history of this country have been voted out of many states. Like people got really, really upset about it. And it's a real shame. I don't know. It leads us back to the same godforsaken place. And it affects more and more people every time, which is like the crazy part, right? It just gets bigger. It's like instead of like rooting it out with the root, we just allow it to affect more and more people next time. And it's like, when will the white people learn? I don't know.
Time will tell.
But let's talk about the women in the movie. Gwen, what did you think about Grace Chow, the Asian shopkeeper that was in the movie? Like, I was reading, articles about it, but she was kind of a woman that was challenging traditional gender roles and like patriarchal economic systems.
Definitely.
I don't know. There was the intersectionality that kind of is covered with that instance. Like somebody was talking about like segregation and how, there was an Asian owned place and a Black owned place that they showed in the movie, and like how that kind of falls into the historic landscape.
It was important for the setting.
Yeah. Yes,
and it was important for the storytelling to keep the history part, I guess, as accurate as possible. And I mean, I can't say for certain through my history knowledge, because like I will be honest, like I got my history education from Texas public school education system, which so I didn't, I guess, get more history until like my later college years. And as far as I guess I can talk about, for Chinese women history, opening up a business wasn't seen as like too super uncouth over there in China, because when in China, if your husband had passed away and you had like a farm, or if you had like a fishing business, then taking over just was like the natural thing to do, especially if you had like a family to provide for. It wasn't going to be something that they were going to come after you for, and it was going to be like a witch hunt thing. It was like, no, we're keeping the economy going as women over there. So I want to say that like in America, if you were a Chinese woman and you had, your own business, then I don't think it would have been super uncouth. But
so there was like some racial triangulation going on, which is something that happens. Like we talk about this happening within the patriarchy as well, which is why like I have said before that capitalism is like the best expression of the patriarchy, because it's able to triangulate not just people against each other in general, but like it brings in racial triangulation, it brings in class triangulation, it brings in women on women triangulation, and there's just this kind of acknowledgement of that in the movie. I just think that is like a really cool way to represent more than just one storyline, and also to bring in that nuance to things, that it's kind of like, yes, we're all in the same boat, but we're also being triangulated against each other, because that's how these oppressive systems work, because they're oppressing all of us at the same time, and it's making us act less human towards one another, which is why the like whole, again, spoilers ahead, the whole vampire thing was kind of like about unity. Like, I don't know, they were able to kind of unite in that because they were no longer being affected by the systems like as much. I don't know if I'm picking up on something that's not there, but
what I took from it was white supremacy was the evil, the overall evil of it. Exactly. And the vampires just represented this fake illusion of freedom.
Yes.
You get what I mean? Like, they really thought they were free because they were not mortal or whatever. I can't really, I'm trying to figure out how to say it. But yeah, that's kind of how I took it. It was like the vampires were evil, but they were not the big evil. They were evil with a little e, but the evil with the big E, the capitalized E, is like white supremacy. And they were just used as a tool. At least that's how I saw it.
That's the take. That is absolutely the take. Yes.
The supernatural aspects of it were so much fun. I loved, because like I grew up in Louisiana originally for the first like 12 years of my life, I want to say. I just remember kind of growing up with a little bit of that kind of culture, I guess, because when it came to like spirits and all that, we did not mess with that. We did not fuck with it. And it was just something that was known. It was something like you just did not do. And if you found out your kids, you know, were playing with the spirit board, the Ouija stuff, like you would get pulled by your ear to go like sit down in a corner somewhere, and your mom or somebody would come and spank you, or it was a thing that was just not tolerated. And I liked that they displayed it as like a protective thing. Like they had like this amulet that she gave him, and it was going to protect him from like certain spirits, but it turned out, you know, it wasn't spirits at all that he needed protection from, but like these white supremacist vampires. And but I like how like he listened to her. He actually like listened. Like when it came to it, when he realized what he was dealing with, he was like, okay, what do we do? Yeah. You know, he was the one that turned to her and was like, what do we do? Because you know how like in some movies, it's always the woman going to the man, like, what do we do? You know, in this instance, they were more willing to take advice from the woman who actually, you know, practiced this shit and knew what she was doing. She knew what she was talking about, and she had obvious solutions like the garlic and the steaks too, and it wasn't holy water. It was like she opened up a jar and she like splashed it, and it was like
it wasn't. It was
juice. Was it
pickled garlic juice? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was pickled garlic juice.
Because she was having them drink it too, to prove that they wasn't that they were not vampires.
Yeah, to prove that they weren't vampires.
He listened.
Yeah. I love the point you made about false unity. That's exactly it. But I also thought that they were like, you know, like there's this common like idea about white people that when you see it, you kind of can't unsee it. But it's like they're drawn to the way that, you know, minorities and oppressed groups express themselves, because there's a freedom to it that they are not allowed to experience under whiteness. And it's like uncouth, and like culture is almost like uncouth according to whiteness. You're not really supposed to have culture. You're supposed to abstain from things that are too happy or things that are too, you know, wily or whatever, things that would be considered extreme. And yet at the same time, you know, you're doing very extreme things like enslaving people, treating those people completely inhumanely. Like extreme doesn't even begin to cover it, right? But it's almost like you justify that to yourself by withdrawing from other aspects of culture and life. Like I don't really know how to like encapsulate that point well, but like I like that they pointed that out, that it's like these soulless, you know, vampires, they need to feed on something, and they look for, you know, culture and stuff like that they can feed off of and pretend like, I don't know, like experience it without experiencing the oppression that led to having to discover joy in other places. Does that make sense? Like,
yep. I also picked up on like, you remember when you did that video a while back about monitoring spirits? I kind of like thought about that when they couldn't stand to see like just black people just having fun and minding their own business, and you know, it was kind of like we have to find a way to get in, and like you know, and I like how it captured that too. And it was also kind of fun being able to predict that the guy outside that was supposed to be the door, I knew he was one of them. before they revealed it. I was like, oh, something happened to him. Because he was outside taking a pee or whatever. And he just came back all untouched. I was like, no, something happened. Because he was hearing spirits and stuff out there. So, that was the fun part for me, like being able to predict certain stuff. But, yeah, in the music aspect, as far as like blues and the type of music that I guess white people use black people to exploit, like they realize black people can sing or black people can play good instruments, whatever, and they always found ways to use that to entertain themselves. Music is very powerful. So certain aspects of that, I really believe. I mean, music can literally switch your mood in 2 seconds. Like you be listening to one song, and the power of the instruments or the words or whatever it is will make you want to fight somebody. Then you can listen to songs and it puts you in the mood to want to have sex. Then you can listen to a song and it really will it will really influence you.
Yeah.
It's really real.
Yes.
Yeah. And but there's a lot of people of all races, of course, that are just gifted at like being able to play music, being able to sing, being able to read music or whatever. But it's always been kind of used against us to some degree as like a form of control. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but they realize how powerful it is. And it's like anytime they come across anything that seems to be influential, they're going to use it to their
they're
advantage.
Going to exploit it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of, so what commentary did y'all pick up on as far as the white woman in the movie? Like, there's much to say about. I don't know.
When she went out there to try to understand them or whatever, I knew it was over for her. I knew it. I was like, yeah, it's over for her.
There's not as much at stake for her either.
I don't know if she knew what she was getting herself into when she went out there.
Well, but it's the fact that she thought she could reason with them and got herself and then came in and turned him too.
Yeah.
Right. And now he's just stuck out there singing songs with like, I don't know. Like, I do think that was definitely a commentary on something. Like, you think you're going to be granted access to spaces, but it's really not that simple. It's kind of like Get Out was a really good commentary on that too.
It was.
It's not that simple. You have to basically be lobotomized in order to,
Yeah, I agree.
to fit into whiteness, as a person of color, as a person of culture. It's like that is a subset of people that rejects culture and rejects other human beings just to platform themselves and to justify their atrocities.
Just like Black Republicans that
exactly.
always end up finding out the hard way.
Yes, the hard way. Yes,
like,
exactly.
You are not getting a seat at this table. They're giving you the illusion of a seat at the table, but when it comes down to actually having a seat at the table, you don't fucking exist. You're just a tool for whatever their agenda is. And then once they're done with you, you're discarded. And it just is what it is. And it's so sad that we've seen this happen in the Black community or with Black people over the course of decades. And the new ones still keep popping out thinking they're going to have a different, each generation think they're going to come out and have a different result. It's like, you're going to get the same thing it's the same. Like, I don't understand that. I think a part of me understands that a lot of Black people know all white people are not evil. Sometimes you will get into this sort of diatribe with yourself. Like, okay, I might be able to get a seat at the table because this person seems like a good, back in the slavery days, they used to say, those are the good white folks, or whatever. I think a lot of Black people still have that like mindset. And they use that as a way in, but they, I don't know.
But the reward is just not the same.
It's never going to be the same.
Because of like the intersectional aspect of it, this can be applied like, across the board. You can definitely play the patriarchy game, but the final boss at the end of that is being a man.
Absolutely.
The final boss at the end of like whiteness and fitting in with white people is being white.
Absolutely.
Like at the end of the day, like that is what it is. That is the final boss. And unless you can somehow physically overcome that, like it's the point. The point is to keep you out of the top echelons, and that's how it's going to be. Like they never let Taylor Swift forget it. The men never let Taylor Swift forget that she's just a woman. Elon Musk is like, I can trust, I can impregnate you. And it's always the same with like any sort of oppressive system like that. It's to get to the end of it, you have to be something that you're actually not. And it sells you this false dream. Like you said, they're dancing, they're singing, they're holding hands, in a circle, but like you're not actually experiencing the benefits of it all the same.
Right.
And
not even close.
Right.
You're free at what cost?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that was just like an interesting commentary. Like, as a white woman dating a black man, first of all, there's different
power
things
dynamics.
are just, different power dynamics. And it's an interesting balance between, you know, the patriarchy and white supremacy. You're teeter-tottering on this like edge without deconstructing both of those things, white supremacy and patriarchy. It's going to be a lot of, you know, dynamics that I don't think people are prepared to deal with a lot of times.
I agree.
I do too.
All right, let me see if there's any other characters we didn't cover. Oh, well, Sammy, the main character.
The one who could play the music.
Yeah. Yes.
But actually, I liked his girlfriend, I guess, or his love affair partner. The song that she sang, like "Pale Pale Moon," I think is what it was. Such a good song. I really liked it.
Yeah, ran to the soundtrack. So good.
The music, if you appreciate, you know, R&B or soul type of music, like this soundtrack was really good. I liked it. The first thing I took away from that movie was how much I liked the music.
I forgot to read the part about the part of the kind of triangulation with the Asian couple specifically that I wanted to point out is that they were helping. And like, this is, you know, I can relate to this as like an immigrant, you know what I mean? Like, where you're not quite what whiteness is looking for, and you know that, and you try to like help, but you still don't challenge the system too much.
Right.
Like, I can definitely see that in like fellow immigrants and like, you know, other people of color that are not per se treated as badly. Like, I don't know how to say this in a like couth way, so I'm sorry.
They're people of color, like, but they're not. No, I know what you're saying. They're still considered people of color, but they're not. They're closer to whiteness than we would ever be. If that makes sense.
The proximity.
And
yes,
so
exactly.
the proximity
they're
of
more
it.
proximate.
Yeah.
And so there's like a kind of a double-sided way to use that proximity, in which it's like, well, we're sharing this community, so we can't outright, you know what I mean? Like, as these like, you know, Asian people or immigrant people, we can't outright be like hostile towards that community.
Right.
But we're also in a place where either we feel like we can't challenge the system, or, you know, we're just not in a place to challenge the system. And that's valid too. You know what I mean? Valid. The oppression still exists on top of those
But they don't want to shoot themselves in the foot. Basically.
Exactly.
Because, I mean, I get it. I can't even be upset or mad at like their position. They have their own unique position. So it's like people just come here trying to survive at the end of the day.
Exactly.
And they're going to side. It's just even if you're biracial. A lot of biracial people are going to try their best to side with white people first, just because at the end of the day, whether you have a white dad or a white mom or whatever, you're going to try to side with whiteness as much as you can first, because that's the dominant race in this country or in society in general. It's not until some of their usually white mothers remind them, you're actually not white, you're actually biracial, and a lot of times they will associate you more with your black father or whatever, more so than whiteness. And then they kind of have this kind of confusing moment, like, if I go over here, I'm not white, but if I go over here, I'm not black enough. So like, dang, what do I do? It's kind of the same concept.
I feel that on such a level, because like, I'm not Asian enough for these Asian spaces. I always look, you know, more white than everyone else. And then it comes out in the way that they, you know, joke and their mannerisms and things like that. And that's always what reminds me of my place in society, where it's like, I'm not completely Asian, but I'm also not completely white. And it's this sort of like, you know, gray area of belonging. And I don't know, it's always been, you know, a walk between two worlds for me, where I don't fit in either of them. And it does kind of suck sometimes, because it's like, I would love to be more accepted by my Asian peers, my Korean folks out there. Like, because like my auntie is like, I need you. Like, I've lost so much of my language, and I would love to be able to pick that back up again eventually. So just alhamdulillah, hamani for if you're listening.
That's that I can totally also relate to that as like an immigrant, and like being so confused that other white immigrants, and I shouldn't be confused. Like, now that I know more, I'm not confused, but I was always confused about like white immigrants and being so racist, because it's like, you realize that even though you're white, these other white people do not think that you're like the same as them. Like they do not, they will never accept you flawlessly, seamlessly as one of their own. You'll always be the little pet of the group. They'll always be like, oh, can you say this in Ukrainian? Can you do this? was, and it's just like this weird, like, it's an icky feeling. It's an icky feeling. And that's why it's like a lot of immigrants will try to align themselves with whiteness, and they just have to learn the hard way. You have to learn the hard way, because otherwise, like, you're not going to see it.
I didn't even know that the biracial dynamic, a lot of people have that, particularly have Black fathers and white mothers, that the white mothers will remind them that they're not white until TikTok. Like when I got on TikTok and I saw so many, it was like this, like there's a whole like I guess it was called biracial TikTok or whatever. And they would get on and complain about like, they don't know where they fit in, because even though they're part white and they have a white mom, the white mom is doing little things and saying little things to reiterate that you actually are not white. Like your hair texture, like they'll have a baby with a Black man and then be mad that the baby's hair turned out more Black than white. I don't know what to do with this. They'll get, they have an attitude about like doing their daughter's hair or whatever. It's just, there's so much. And I was just like, really? Even your own baby, this baby came out of your coochie. Like you gave birth to this and you still don't really see it as a part of who you are. It's crazy. Now, I know all white women that have biracial kids don't feel that way, but it seems like a lot of them do.
Yeah.
It's probably something that comes out because we don't root it out, like because we don't talk about it, and then it's like, it is so deeply rooted in just, ignorance. And I don't mean like the innocent kind of ignorance. I just mean like you haven't had to empathize with people that look different than you your entire life. And now you can't empathize with your own fucking child.
That's crazy.
That's where that leads. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That's why it's like, we got to work on this stuff. Before we wrap up, I also just want to acknowledge the like spiritual aspect of things from the other side, like the colonialized Christianity aspect, and how Sammy's dad was against the jukebox joint and stuff, being like, oh, like these spirits will find you and stuff. But it's like, I hate to say this, but like the evil spirits have found the Black community through the forced like Christianity that was forced upon them in the era of slavery, where it was used as just another tool to enforce compliance and then take away the spirituality that people had with their culture that they were taken from.
He even said so in the movie, like, we brought this back with us from home. And like, that gave you such a warm feeling, or it gave me such a warm feeling that like, they couldn't take everything away from them. They still got to have that soul and that rhythm in them, and that like produced this music. And it was just, that's heartwarming to me. I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean. That's why I'm so frustrated. I was like, y'all are still clinging on to this religion that literally it holds us back.
Yeah.
In such a awful way, just in general. Just how anti-woman religions are in general, but also that's the religion that was given to us during slavery. It's like, how are you in 2025? Like, how are y'all still like not seeing this? But yeah, I have my own soapbox about that. But yeah,
of course. And slavery is encouraged in the Bible.
Oh, absolutely.
So like that's why thing. That's what I mean. Is like we're using it to harm bigger groups of people every time that we don't point these things out and we say, oh, well, it's still a good book. There's still a lot you can learn from it. Like, fuck that. I don't care. If it's justifying literal slavery, like, it's not a good book.
I agree. This country is, everything that's happening is showing me this country has learned nothing. Like, we are literally just repeating history and trying to go back to.
Let us be the generation that actually learns from history.
Yeah, because what the fuck? Like, yeah, I'm over it.
No, because seriously, like that movie, I mean, even just, coming back and like wrapping this up, but Sinners is like, it almost could have still been made today.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
yesterday.
It's just like we have learned nothing. And in fact, we've gone like backwards. And we're just kind of back to square one every time. It's just a different, I don't know, it's just a different like exactly shade, like a different flavor, different whatever. Like, but it's the same.
It's like
square.
Vanilla or vanilla bean.
Right. Yes. Those are your two options, basically. Yeah. So real bummer, but that was a really good movie. Highly recommend. What would y'all rate it?
10 out of 10. The atmosphere was good. The music was good. The character arc was good.
The storyline.
Everything seemed relevant.
I was going to say,
the actors they chose, everything was great. Yeah.
Yes. Couldn't agree more. Yeah. I actually have nothing that I want to docket points on. I think it's very educational, and like I very much encourage people to like read the articles. I'll recommend a few. How about that? Can be our recommendation. I'll recommend a few articles that I found to be really helpful in like exposing all the like theory that was kind of used in the making of the film. Like there's critical race theory, obviously there's decolonial theory, there is post-colonial theory, and there's Afro-pessimism and Afro-optimism. There's like a really good article breaking all of that down. So I'll make sure to link it as well as a few others. There's like a feminist bent article as well. So please do make sure you check out the movie. It's on Max, HBO Max, and make sure you check out the articles and make sure you check us out on social media, including our Patreon, where we do polls every week. And this week, our poll was about men ditching romantic relationships with real women in favor of AI girlfriends. And how does our audience feel about that? So we had 2 kind of thumbs up answers and we had 2 thumbs down answers. So the first one was, I love it. They can obsess over their bots and leave us alone. The less I deal with men, the better. That was my initial starting point that I have strayed very far from. But
really?
Yes. Yeah. The other one that said, great, let them F around and find out. If they want to be lonelier, less fulfilled, and stuck in emotional infancy, be my guest. The 2 options that got voted for the most were no, this will end up harming women. Men avoiding real relationships will only worsen their entitlement and misogyny. And no, it's deeply dystopian. They're replacing women with code built on our image. If this grows, it's not only bad for women, but humankind. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Our Spotify listeners were a little torn between let the bots have them. But yeah, I think for the most part, women can read the tea leaves, so to speak, and see where it's all based in misogyny, unfortunately. And just another way to exploit and consume women with no consequences.
Yep.
On the front of leaving women alone, that's the only part of it that will be a good thing. That's it, though. The rest of it it would increase their entitlement and it'll become more dangerous once they realize that these robots are robots and you are not getting the real thing. And now you're just going to feel some kind of way when you finally do get access to the real thing. And it's going to be unhinged and unrealistic. And you know what I mean? Just like the porn, just like the porno guys. They watch all this porn and then they get with a real woman, an actual human, and expect that she's supposed to do all these things. And like, you know what I mean? Like, no, this is not real.
100%. It's just being used to like set the bar, even higher for women.
Yeah,
right? It's like, oh, well, my AI girlfriend listens to me talk about all this shit and like never complains, or like, she'll do this, or she says yes to this, or like she's involved in my interests.
The mental illness of that, though, think about it. Like you literally are talking to a computer. Yeah. You are trying to get validation from a fucking computer, and you're going to compare that to a real human. And
so who settled?
That entitlement.
This is why they want us to be delusional, ladies. Like, this is why. Because they are. They just want to project that onto us. Yeah. Just be as delusional as us. You can pretend like it's the real thing,
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, not when our life is in danger, please.
I think it's going to start out as like them leaving us alone while they like figure themselves out on how to, get their entertainment from AI. But then as soon as they start realizing that they're actually more lonely doing that, and then they try to approach women, it's going to backfire on the ones who were saying like, let them have at it, because then they have no social skills, like no soft people skills, and none of those emotional intelligence things that get put in us so young and so early. Because wasted that time, doing the they just won't have it, and that'll backfire. And of course, the onus of that will of course be blamed on us, and they'll beg us to have like patience. Hopefully, we'll be beyond the whole like loneliness epidemic conversation, because by then people will realize like, oh, that was a choice, right? That's a consequence of actions that you did as a man, where you chose not to evolve with us as a species, like, because while we were gaining our rights and applying them to our lives, like owning a bank account, owning a home in our names, and getting a job, and like ascending the corporate ladder, you were doing what? Consuming porn and treating women like wife appliances, and abusing your them AI like we don't matter, girlfriend. Or like cheap, shitty car salesmen.
Every time they're with their AI girlfriend and they think that they are winning and they get on social media or they watch TV and they see women just thriving, happy, doing well in life. Because a lot of times they already are mad when they see women happy and living a good life. That's going to just make their anger boil over even more. I'm talking about 20 times worse, seeing us literally thriving without them. And that's the scary part, because it's like once they realize, wow, I really am obsolete, that's when they're going to get violent. That's when they're going to be like, I'm finna take myself out and I'm finna take a bunch of women out as much, as many. I'm going to take as many women at Walmart out.
Yet,
like, oh yeah. Sure. Like their minds are already warped in a way where it's going to lead. There's no other way for their brains to lead but down that road of destruction. I really am. So I really am lonely. I really don't have anyone.
I try not to dwell on it.
We can't afford to, like, just, oh my God.
Just be mindful and
be
careful.
Safe out there. Yeah, seriously.
Just know that's in the back of your mind. You have to kind of know that, though, like, to keep yourself safe. Yeah. Like, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse.
Well, on that lovely note, hopefully we love you. Thank you for listening. Let us know what you think in the comments and follow us anywhere you want to follow us. Bye.
Bye.